Sarge's Tales from the Trenches, guys.
It's awesome to have you here, man. And
Yeah, awesome
likewise,
to
I'm
have
on
you, dude.
yours. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's such a weird thing to have this duality thing, you know? It's not normal. Normally, it's just like, okay, right, I've got like 15 questions to ask. Let's run through that. Okay, tick, tick.
Yeah.
That's how I used to do it, man. I used to have a whiteboard on the side of here and like used
Yeah.
to like ask a question, tick it off. Next question, tick it off. It's like, God damn it. Don't be so anal, man. Just chill and speak, man. So, yeah,
Right. Uh,
this is weird. I'll
this
drink
is
to that.
well, and it's so different
Mm.
because you're so used to basically talking to yourself and then hoping somebody's in chat down there that you can interact with, and now it's like he's on full screen and we're right here. So I kind of like it because it is a
It's
conversation. So
it's a whole different sort of look and feel about everything. To It's more personal. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
okay, now we can reach into your soul and like,
Yeah,
gotcha.
this is the first time I got to see you like this close up, and now
Oh
I
God,
really see what I'm
let's
dealing
go
with. Oh my
backwards.
God. And you need a beard, sir.
Oh, dude, you know what the fucked up thing was, man? I'll tell you, I was like, the warden had bought me like shaving cream because I was like, I wasn't using anything. So I was like really fucking up my face. And I was like, oh yeah, you got new razors, shaving cream, like shave off everything. And like, well, not everything, but close enough. And like, and afterwards I was like, damn, it's nice and smooth. Yeah. And then I go, fuck, I've got a podcast in 2 days. I'm like, Bear. It's like, no, why now, Trevor, you dumbass? Think these things through.
So let me tell you, all my life, and I don't know if it's
Fuck,
just
for a moment, I thought
stupidity
you were
or
going to say
whatever.
it was fake.
No, yeah, this isn't real, chat. Nobody, this is just I glue it on every day and it looks this shitty. No, I never used shaving cream. I've always used hot water, and that's it.
Army style.
Because sometimes in the field and things like that,
Mm,
you don't have those items. And
mm,
so, as you well know,
mm-hmm.
and then it's just like, well, I might as well just get used to the feeling of how this is going to be when I'm screwed, basically.
Yeah.
And I just always have done it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I remember doing basics in the army. I wasn't in the army for very long. I fucked up my knee. So it was actually stuffed before I went to the army, which is kind of stupid, but it was a bicycle accident, and I wiped out. And the first part that hit the tarmac was my left knee. So it kind of, the meniscus behind the kneecap just kind of like shattered. So ever since then, for the past like 20 odd years, it's like click, crack, and croak every step I take. And recently it's gotten worse. But I remember in the basics in the army, they were saying, if you're out in the field, you're not going to have soap. You're not going to have toothpaste. You're not going to have shaving cream. You're not going to have all this, all the luxuries that you have in your barracks, which
Right.
when I was in the army, it was pretty minimal, but still. It's like, I remember some guy asked, and so, how do we brush our teeth? And we're like giggling, just don't brush your teeth, dude. You're in the rough. And the guy goes, no, you do brush your teeth. And he goes to the fire and grabs a whole bunch of ash, a
Oh
whole
my
bunch of ash,
God.
scraping off all the, everything like that, and then a little bit of water. And now you carry on. It was like,
Wow.
okay, we're in the army.
Yeah. The first concept of a bird bath. I mean, sitting out, I think the worst time I ever had, I was out in 29 Palms and we would go out there for what they call a it was a CAX, but it's a combined arms exercise. But I was out in artillery, then they'd have the planes or helicopters, and then they'd have tanks in different areas. Basically, we were all firing on one area though. And it was like a simulated battle, basically. And we would sit out there for 53 days in a row. Well, it's 120 some odd degrees out there. And then it's with, I don't know, because we're in a place called Lodick Lake, which is next to Amboy, where Charles Manson had his
Right.
cult
Okay.
out there. I mean, he obviously wasn't out there anymore, but
Yeah.
we would shoot towards that village,
Right.
basically, or whatever you want to call that out there. And it would be about, I mean, it would feel like about 155 degrees. It was literally like 100 and up to close to 120, but I don't think quite that high.
Ouch.
But you got flak jackets and all that crap on,
Right.
and like your skin is drying out, like cracking, like looks like that Marvel guy, the Rock dude. I mean, I'd never seen anything like that. I was just like, what in the hell? And then of course, you stunk so bad, so you would run back to the shower to try to be the first one after you came in after 53 days with no shower ups at all. I was like, oh my God.
Water.
It'd take weeks to recover. Yeah, my whole body was like, what is this? When you get in the shower.
Man, dude.
Oh, man.
So Charles Manson. I mean, are we gonna go down that road, man? Because one of the questions.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know anything about Charles. Like, I mean, other than what you've heard on whatever. But I just know we used to shoot out there, and you could see the lights of the town or whatever it's called.
Wasn't it Spawn Ranch or whatever? Spawn Ranch, where you had his cult there or something?
Probably, but it was the little town near it, I guess. And I was just like, we're shooting towards these people. We could have easily hit them. Obviously, we shot at a different,
Right. Yeah. So
we shot towards a train instead.
Oh, well, that makes perfect logical sense. In the military, shoot a moving object.
Yeah, they had trains between us and that town, and we would shoot right there. And I was like,
yes, here's a question for you. Here's a question for you. Why are the stormtroopers so shit at shooting?
Because they're army. She's gonna kill me, dude. I don't know, man. Oh my God.
I mean,
what
it's
kind
ridiculous.
Of beer are you drinking today?
I'm drinking what the hell am I? Windhoek Lager. Oh, what is that? What do you got going on there?
That is the Marine Corps emblem, obviously, for what you could see of it. But it is delicious coffee.
Nice. Yeah. So what is it, like 1 o'clock there where you are now?
3:12.
3 p.m.
3:12.
Right.
Yeah. What time zones, is it there?
Man? It's just gone past 9 p.m.
Okay. So you're 6 ahead of me then.
Fucking time zones, dude.
I always think you're 8 hours in front of me for some reason. Anyway,
okay, so Namibian beer, which is basically our neighbor up north on the west coast, which is where I live on the west coast, and it's it's a very nice draft beer. There we go, very nice, very, very nice.
I do have one question for you.
I
have noticed with Africans in general.
Right.
Okay, so maybe you can.
So not South Africans, just Africans.
Not just
Okay, so the whole African continent.
Yes, they're specific about what region they are in. And it's almost disrespectful if I said, "Oh, are you East African?" and you're like, "Hell no, I'm South African." So I'm just curious about that. Why is that?
Well, no, the thing is, we have a South Africa's had a troubled history, and since the Spanish arrived and the Dutch arrived and then the English really, colonized the whole world, basically, is when they ruled the world. And when people say, "Are you from Africa?" it's like the first reaction, like you just had now, was like, Africa or South Africa? We could be a fucking island. The way that we think about Africa, there's something about like we know that there's like 30 other countries within Africa. Africa is just a continent, right? South Africa is just a little country of the continent of Africa,
right?
A really small part of Africa, but hence South, because we're down south. But it's like this instant, no, South Africa. The rest is just Africa. No. There's a shitload of other countries, above us, north of us. There's a whole lot of countries, and we just no, that's just Africa. Stupid, right?
Well, no, not really, because we're like, how we do. I'm in the Midwest. Right. There's the East Coast. There's West Coast. I mean, it does make sense, but I didn't know if it was sort of like a pride, we're better thing. We're better than the rest of the state. Screw those guys.
I honestly, I can tell you that I know a lot of South Africans, obviously, but I know a lot of them are what we call in this country windgat. Which means arrogant. Blindly arrogant. And I think that those are a lot of people that have not left South Africa and gone abroad to Europe or wherever, traveled a bit, opened the eyes. There's a whole world out there. But no,
Right.
South African, and we're proud and South African and blah blah blah. No, we're better than everybody else, and maybe that was true for a little while in the 90s, because whenever we went to London to go work and live, it was always the South Africans are known to be hard workers, hard drinkers, and hard partiers and everything like that. But we worked really, really hard. And then at some point in the 90s and going into the 2000s, that all changed. It was Australians and New Zealanders then. And then it was like, okay, so they're the hard workers and South Africans are just sappers. South Africans, sappers. That's like, nah, whatever. So just, I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's because we don't travel, because it's more difficult for us, because it's more expensive. I don't know. Fuck it. I mean,
well,
yeah.
When you're the typical American that hasn't traveled the globe, now I've been in places in the globe, but you know what I'm saying? Like your typical normal person that just haven't left the country. That's why I said the other day, obviously I was teasing. I said, you sound just like you're out there in Australia.
Get me started, man.
It is slightly similar, but I think you could definitely tell a difference.
If I could smack you through this monitor, I would, sir. That's it.
Duck, that's it. Duck. But yeah. 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 But it's just because, I mean, again, it's not like I've spoke with a lot of Australian or New Zealand guys or South African guys. You're the first person I know from over there, I think.
I'm your first.
Yeah. And so it's kind of nice because, well, first of all, I love the accent. I've always loved the accent. I always think it's great.
Anyway.
Yeah, you and that, then the posh, Sir Cackle, so
Captain Cackles. I love him.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just love experiencing people.
But that's important though.
Yeah. And their like cultures and their accents and their ways of, which is culture, but basically the way they do things and why they do them and the background behind them. I think it's fascinating personally.
No, it is. I mean, that's why when I went overseas for the first time, I was like, I was that arrogant South African stupid punk that knew everything. Went abroad and I was like, dude, you ain't nothing. Look at these people. They're like really educated, smart, intelligent, hardworking, and you've got a lot to aspire to and a lot to learn from other people. So shut the fuck up and absorb. Just sponge. Just give it to me, man. Let me learn everything. And that's the point of travel, right? The food. I mean, different foods. And we're going to touch on food, man.
Oh my God, I can't wait to talk about. I had nothing. This is
so
what I've had.
Today we're going to talk about food. So what do you have for breakfast? Nothing. Okay, let's move on.
Nothing. Yes, nothing. I got up 2 hours ago.
I want your life.
Later. What do we have at later's, Jodes? She doesn't know. Well, you're not very helpful.
You're fired. Where are you, Jodes?
You're fired. Yeah.
My sister. Where are you?
We had what did we have last night? Jimmy John's. Yes.
Okay.
We had Jimmy John's. So
right. I thought Jimmy John's was a drink.
Maybe
that's
a top.
You got nothing for that, right?
No, no. I only had a 14-inch sandwich called the JJ Gargantuan, and it's pretty much everything. It's literally everything, like all the meat.
14-inch sandwich.
Well, I mean,
give or take an inch or 10.
Yeah, about 10 of those.
A 4-inch popcorn. It's brilliant.
That's right. The 2-inch Punisher. I was giving myself 2 inches. You don't have to tear me down like that.
Jeez. Yeah, I had to untie another knot. It was terrible.
Yeah, but you know what sounds good is a nice ribeye and maybe a baked potato. Nice ribeye and a baked potato.
And what's with the goats?
Well, okay. First of all, for those that don't know, I'm a Mason. Also, I'm in the Masonic Lodge, and we ride those in secret. So I can't tell you only so much, but no, it's a good time. And
and it hurts like hell.
Yeah, and they say when you're on it that you're doing bad. So
Oh God. Oh geez.
Yeah.
Don't start. So let's talk serial killers, man.
Oh man.
Let's be sporadic with the conversation. We're going here and there and everywhere. So I mean,
Okay.
so right. So some of my chat I'm not going to know, and this is also going to be an audio podcast, so nobody's going to see the video. So I'm going to try and describe Sarge as best as I can for my audio listeners. Right, tall, mean eyebrows. Right.
Oh, I'm 5'8".
Fuck it, I'm taller than you, and I think I'm short.
Yeah, no, I'm
Oh, you know what it is?
I've always been.
You're thin. You're thin, and that makes you look taller. There you go. There you go. Look at that. Oh no, you can't look at that.
Look, it's Captain America.
And he's got a beard, and right in the center by the chin. Right, audio listeners, it's a bit sort of like silvery. How long you been growing the beard for?
Ever since I got out of the military, really, I've never not sported it. I don't think it's either been a goatee. It actually started like this, and then
you and the goats again.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm a Capricorn. I'm a goat.
Oh well. There you go.
There you go.
That's all we need to know. Okay,
yes.
so tell me, why the military and what age did you go in?
I went in. I was 19. Straight out of high school.
Wow.
I went in. I was supposed to be. I was going to go military police, MSG duty, which is your going across the seas to Britain or wherever and guarding the embassies.
Right.
It got full. It got full. I was stupid and young, and was in a hurry, and so I was like, "Yeah, screw it." And I ended up going open contract, and then I ended up being artillery, which is ridiculous because everything, first of all, okay, so the gun itself is like a 16,000-pound gun. The rounds itself weigh, the lightest round is about, I want to say 72 pounds, and then it depends on what propellant and or whatever. But some of those rounds are 100 and either 35 or 55. I can't remember. I was 115 pounds to give you.
Jesus.
They have these, you know what a dozer looks like, right on the front where they're bulldozing. Well, they have these feet. They're called, the legs are called trails, and then they have the basically the bulldozer part. But you got to put that on there. The way you do that is squat, grab it like this, and lift up like this, and then pop it on.
Shit.
Well, no. You're 115 pounds. You're struggling, bro. I mean, oh my God. And I was in greatest shape of my life, one being 19, and then two, the fact that you're coming out of the military boot camp with the Corps and MCT training, which is Marine Combat Training. It's not grunt training because you're not, a grunt is your infantryman.
Right.
Everybody is trained as one, but then you have specializations. And so everybody that was combat arms went over here, but everybody that was infantry went here, and then everybody got something, basically, is my point. But I go into this thing, and there's a guy we called the Mountain. Now, he looked like the guy off of Game of Thrones, the guy that was the Mountain, except for he was African American.
Right.
And one time we got stuck in this hole, trailer hitch, right?
Right.
Trails are down here. Trailer hitches here, and we got to lift this stupid thing and put it up here. We had 8 men, including a gunnery sergeant and a first sergeant on there. Could not get it. He went over there, asked the gunny, you want me to put that on there for you? And gunny said yes. We all backed up. This dude picked it up, popped it on there by himself. And I was like,
"That's it. I'm done." That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a twig. I'm a twig compared to this guy. This guy could have picked me up and thrown me a block.
Can you believe it that we're almost out of time already? We've got 8 minutes left.
Oh, holy crap! No.
Right. This is what I'm saying.
Wow.
If the conversation flows, it goes really, really quickly. So what we can do is we can always set up another meet, and then just carry on. So we'll talk for the next 5 minutes or so. Then we'll end it, and then I'll send you another invite, and then we carry on. But
okay.
I don't want to, have you have any sort of PTSD triggers or anything like that, okay? Because this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you, and it's only the one question that I did want to ask you. Really was, how the fuck did he get blown out of a building?
Basically some place that we said we weren't. And okay, so
Was this like a covert thing?
I mean,
NDA.
yeah, to a degree. I mean, like
Right.
it wasn't. It ended up being like we were supposed to be doing training. I'll just say that we were supposed to be doing training. We ran into something we weren't supposed to,
Right.
and when we did, which how with military intelligence, I don't know.
Yeah.
But long story short, how tall are you, Trev?
6.
You're 6 foot. Okay, so the guy behind me was about 6'3". Long story short, it something blew up. We were running, and he was slower than me. The one advantage of being small.
Right.
And he had third-degree burns down the back of his whole body from head to toe.
Jeez.
And I didn't see him again, but I had another buddy that had went over to somewhere in the Middle East. I want to say it was near Afghan, but he had something similar happen to him that I actually knew because he was in my platoon, then went over there, got attached or whatever, and he got something similar happen to him. And he was telling me how excruciating. So the doctors and nurses that come in when you have a huge burn like that, and basically they talk about this bath you're going to have,
Right.
and how great it's going to feel. But what it is they put you in this soapy water, basically with whatever chemicals, and they scrub all that off.
Oh, Jesus.
All the scabbing. Yeah, so that's why I don't get into any of that, because it's not a good time. No. So yeah, it's just like, but anyway, it was, I don't know how far I technically flew, but I always say like 30 foot, which is probably not real, but like it was probably a good 10, 15 foot.
It was probably 35 foot, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah, it might have been. But ended up screwing my back up pretty good for it. So I was like, oh, that's nice. So
was that the end of your military after that? Was that like it?
No, I went back, and because
you
like I said,
sucker, sir.
Well, no, I mean I was still enlisted for the time.
Yeah.
And so the rest of the time I was in headquarters
Right.
battery, and just which is like admin work and for the batteries, and we still went to the field and things like that, but like I wasn't out there doing.
You would have thought that after an incident like that there'd be some sort of like, was there already then onset of PTSD, or did that come way after?
That was from a separate issue, let's say.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that. Like, don't get me wrong, I think about that quite a bit.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
How lucky was I? But no, it was from something different.
That's the thing right there, is there's always a positive, isn't there? There's always a positive and a negative, and that's one of the triggers that I have for me when that little fucker that sits in your shoulder or talks in your head, that Mr. Dowdy, he comes in.
Yeah.
And he starts spewing a whole bunch of crap to you. Yeah. I have triggers that I say to myself, because some folks out there may not know, but I went through depression, and that's why I find it interesting talking to other people that have gone that have had PTSD and stuff, that are more interested in the trigger points and how you overcome that. That's what I'm kind of not interested in, but understand from my point of view how you, a little 1% might understand how you feel. So for me, it's like I always, and I've said it in my podcast, in my gaming videos, that there's always a positive out of a negative. So yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, the little bit I can tell you is I've suffered from depression, anxiety. I've always been a pretty anxious person anyway, but like that obviously compounded things on top of it.
Right.
I mean, for those that don't know, and it's not like I want to get huge into it, but I mean, I am bipolar 1. It's something that progressed from years of not understanding your own mental health. And so now that I do better, obviously, like you, I start looking for, like, I start seeing things, and then when I see like in your mind like a warning signal, then you start, because you know ways to cope and deal with it to stay away from it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you figure out, you know what? I can't be a part of that. It's too much. Like, I don't like watching horror movies and things like that because I get too anxious inside. It's not that, like, it's not I'm scared. It's I'm thinking of fight or flight and going to.
That's a military response, isn't it? That's
yeah. Yeah, like sitting in a restaurant, I always sit with my back towards the doors and the windows that are open.
Right.
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
because I got to see
Yeah. Exit
what's
routes.
coming in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So after the military, then what? I mean,
So
you've said in your streams that you've done like
a lot.
a lot like hunting people.
Yeah, well,
well,
I mean, so okay, so after the military,
right.
I job jumped. I sold sweepers. You know, when you first get out, you're just trying to do whatever you can do.
Right.
So I sold sweepers. I went back and worked. I worked when I was in high school. I worked for Old Country Buffet.
Okay.
It's just a restaurant that has a buffet.
Right.
And then I eventually got hooked up with a juvenile facility for children.
Right.
And so I worked that for about a year. And I was like, I had little kids with, you know, like trying to jump off bunk beds with sharpened toothbrushes and, you know, like 5-year-olds, dude, calling me names I've never heard. Yeah, so I was like, I got to get out of this because this feels wrong. Because if I slam this little kid, you know, I don't want, you know, because you just turn on the light and it's all like, ah, you're like, oh, okay, all right, yeah. So I was like, nah, I'm good because it's not like they were in cells and things like that. They were just in a juvenile facility where they had to learn to cope better with their issues, basically,
trying
or
to stop
the crappy
people.
Yeah, well, but then I went to make things worse and compound them even further. I went to a state facility in my state, basically, and opened up a mental health and sex offenders prison. Basically, that's what it started as, and it was a medical facility as well. And super crazy. Just and I don't know. Long story short, it drove me to the federal system, which is a lot more money.
Right.
But the difference being is these guys are the real deal. Like there's made men, there's really serial killers because this is Gen Pop. It wasn't like there were some mental health and things like that, but like it wasn't like the whole prison was that.
Right.
And I met Joey Testa, which was John Gotti's right hand man. One of the Gemini Lounge twins. They had like, I don't know the actual numbers, but I thought he had like 72 bodies.
Shit.
Like, because they would hack people up like deer meat.
Right.
And in the back and process them like that. So that way the cops or whatever wouldn't be onto that, but it was actually the humans that they had disposed of. I met a serial killer named Cold Cuts. You were talking about that earlier. That's why I was bringing it up. Without being too graphic, he used to take women's pieces after they were dead and eat those. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Little 80-year-old man at the time I met him, though.
Right,
you know,
right.
But he was doing it probably when he was around our age.
Right.
Type.
Fuck, I'm old, dude.
Yeah. Well,
well, your age, not mine.
I mean, he was somewhere in that realm. I'm going to guess maybe in his 30s and 40s, though.
Right.
Somewhere in that realm. Just because you're more able-bodied usually then. Trying to think of some of the other people that I met that were interesting. I mean, I had huge, like, gangbangers, and Ronald Isley was in there. You know who Ronald Isley is from the Isley Brothers?
No.
He was in there for tax evasion. He was in the camp part, which is like the lowest offenders.
Right.
You know, like they can go out and mow the grass. They got visitations, and the people just come up and say, "Hey, we're here for visitation." You know, because they have a whole compound on this thing.
Right.
There's like a high, medium, and low. They were in the low. So the Isley Brothers were popular in the 50s and 60s, mainly. African American gentlemen that sang together. They're sort of pioneers for R&B to a degree. The other people that were in there were like the Illinois governors, like Ryan was one of them. They had tried to sell Obama's seat when he was president.
Okay.
Yeah. On basically some kind of political crap. The Isley, Ronald Isley was in there for tax evasion.
Okay.
So, I mean, you see what I'm saying? You can definitely see the difference of people.
Yeah.
We had a communications management unit, which was basically a terrorist unit. We have death row.
Okay.
And so like the really bad, terrible people, they hang out in Florence in our Supermax in Colorado. but then when it's time to be put away or down, then they come to us for like a month.
So how long did that last for then, for you?
That part of it was about 11 years.
Jesus, dude, I don't know if I could manage to do that for 11 years, let alone 2 years, 1 year. You know what I mean? It's like the mind, the psyche can only take so much because they're going to run away with you. The visual side of it.
It did not feed my mental positivity very well. The first day, okay, to give you an idea, this is a true story. The first day, we're going to go in and we're going to do a tour with the admin lady, and she's just going to walk us around and show us the whole place. They have what we call deuces. It's basically an emergency call. There's a big, huge, like 70-man fight on the yard. It was over basketball, and it was between the Bloods and the Crips.
Oh, okay. Right. The two gangs.
Yes. So you understand what's going on. I see guys running by. They're handing sticks because we're in a Sally Port. They're handing sticks like a billy club type stick. They're handing those to us. I see people running by with fire extinguishers. And I'm like, what is that? And what it wasn't a fire. I mean, it was, but it wasn't that. It was big foggers of OC mace.
Ooh,
to shoot out there on them, and get like a broad whatever, so that way it'd irritate their eyes. They'd stop. Hey, I'm good. I'm blind.
Yeah.
But then they would just use them as weapons when they ran out.
Oh shit! Wow.
It's like, again, what have I got myself into?
Yeah.
Day one.
It's day one. Fuck, I would have said, you know what? I'm out. Fuck it. I'm a wussy. What can I say? If somebody had to try and pick a fight with me, I'd probably just I'd probably just crawl down and just start crying.
I never really had any issues with these guys because I just never felt like it was my job to go in there and punish them further. Not that I thought, oh, you're the greatest guy ever, just because, whatever. But the reality to it is like, I just wanted to go home and I wanted to come in and go home in one piece. I didn't give away. I wasn't like, oh, nuts. You guys can. Yeah, I just want to.
Fuck that. Fuck.
Yeah.
No ways, dude. No ways, dude. Man. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So, I mean, then after that. Gaming. When did gaming come into effect, dude?
Oh, man. So.
And why?
Okay, so I always had consoles from, like, what was it? Atari 2600? The wooden looking one?
Yeah.
And then before that, I had friends that had, like, ColecoVision and things like that. Well, when I was about, like, I don't know, let's say 8, because it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
They came out with the Super Nintendo, which I know you remember to a degree.
Right. Yeah.
We saw, me and my brother, there was an Asian family that lived in our neighborhood, and there's like an apartment complex down the road.
Right.
They stuck a whole Nintendo on top of the dumpster. And I went over and grabbed it, and it's like, are you throwing this away?
Are you
and they're
mad?
like, my son doesn't think he needs to get good grades. I'm done with it, giving it away.
Oh, punishment.
Or going to throw it away. Yes. And their kids are watching on. I was like, okay. And so I said, do you mind if we take it? Because back then you didn't grab nothing. Anyway, and then I had to take it to my mom and dad, and then the actual parent vouched for it so they could see I didn't steal it, I didn't do anything crazy,
Right.
And from that point on, we had a Super Nintendo, and then I was hooked, dude. It was over. Oh my God. It was over. So much Mario, GoldenEye, you name all the things that were out there back in the day. Punch Out, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Oh man. And so, long story short, when I finally ended my tour with this, which was around 2019, October-ish, then I was like, okay, I found Raptor, just so you can see how this all kind of transpired. I found Raptor. I had been watching him, and then of course the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And so I had plenty of time to watch him, and I was like, I think I could do that. Now, I don't think I can do it better than him, and I definitely didn't know the programs and things, but I was like, I'm social enough to do this.
But you know what the thing is, and this is for anybody else that's thinking about doing it, it's not that difficult. You just gotta, if you don't enjoy being in front of the camera, like I hate being in front of the camera. That's why most of my streams, there's no camera. But I will say this, it's a lot easier than you think. So go ahead and do it. Go
You
ahead.
definitely should jump into it, but also, I mean, it's easy for me to sit in front of this camera, but what is not easy is understanding what you need to have it successful.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the crap, you need all the components, obviously the
Right.
PC, the camera, and all those things.
Right.
And then you have to
Yep.
work with all the programs and then figure it out. And me, I didn't know, like I was very computer savvy, but I wasn't streamer savvy.
Right.
And so
Right.
once I started this, if you guys want a good laugh, obviously go back to my first videos and you will
Yeah.
see how
Yeah.
well I have progressed from
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Because it's a crash course. So it takes you probably, personally, I think it takes you about, like, if you've never done this and you don't have any background, it'll probably take you about 6 months to 9 months to kind of
Mm-hmm.
figure it right out. And then
Right.
after that, then you can start improving upon it. And then you start branding yourself and getting it where you're like, okay, this doesn't look so bad. This doesn't sound so bad. I'm doing what I need to, because you got to have that interaction with the viewers as well,
Right.
on top of trying to do this. Plus, it's weird, you know it is,
Mm-hmm.
when you first sit down the first time and you're just looking at the camera, there was nobody in chat, and you're just
Yep.
looking, talking to yourself, like, you know, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a wild concept. So, you know,
It's a bit
but
crazy. But if you're
yeah,
comfortable
it
in
is.
front of the camera, and you are, because all your streams, your camera's always on, and it's because you're devilishly good looking, so that does help. But the thing is, it's like being comfortable in front of the camera. You're like, let's just put it in terms of months. You're at least 4 to 6 months ahead of everybody else that's starting, that is not comfortable in front of the camera. And then from there, as you say, it's just a growth thing. For me, it was exactly the same. I was watching T Martin, I was watching the Brad, and then I was watching Raptor, and I thought exactly the same thing. That's the funny thing. I was like watching Raptor going, huh? Look at that dude, man. I've played that game. I can play it as good as he can. It's like, okay, I can give this a go.
Yeah. I mean, I found out some games, I was like, you know what? He's way better than like the building games, like the Valheims and things like that. Like, that's just not me. But like, again,
but you're the
he's not,
shooty type.
yeah, he's not going to keep up with me on that. That is the difference, So there's a trade off. But like, obviously, he has also been doing it for 12, 13 years, maybe now, maybe more. But not to get all into him, but then you're like, okay, so what's my niche? What's my brand? What's my, like, what do I want to do?
Right.
Who do I want to be?
Right.
And then you got to develop all that too. And
I mean, you can get lost in that, man. And that's the problem. You can get lost. I've repeatedly said, and all the wussies out there will know exactly what I'm going to say is, don't look at the numbers, man. Don't look at the numbers. Just be yourself. That was, I remember actually was in Raptor's, one of his sessions that he was doing. Somebody in chat said, and you know what his chat is like. It's fucking crazy. It's just, you just, I would hate to be him, to try and keep on top of that chat, which is why Tan is there, to provide that level, man. Because that is ridiculous. That I'm telling you now, and I've said it to Tan already. I messaged her after he got the million. I said, Tan, congratulations. That channel is as much as yours as it is Raptors. You're brilliant. If you had to work with anybody, they would be fucking over the moon to have you as their mod, man. You're awesome. And then I was lucky enough to get Stephanie C and Sergeant Mom and so on. I was really lucky in that aspect. But what the fuck was I talking about now? OCD much? Fuck. What is I saying?
Raptor and
Raptor.
his streams.
Yeah. Somebody mentions, was like asking him, I'm going to start streaming, blah, blah, blah. What advice would you give to an up-and-coming streamer? And I remember him saying, it's real easy. And I'll never forget this. It's real easy. Just be yourself and play what you want to play. And that is it. He went on, just like elaborated, but don't play something that you don't want to play don't play something you want to play that just because it's popular. So you get the numbers. Yeah. That doesn't work. Forget about it. Just be yourself, play what you want to play. And that is what I've tried to pass on to everybody else that has started since, or that I've met, that is, it's such a horrible thing to say, lower or lesser members or lesser subscribers or whatever. Somebody asks me advice, that's the first thing I'll say. Just be yourself. Don't get caught in the numbers. If you start looking at the numbers, and I know some people do, some some of the OG wussies that stream get lost in numbers beyond belief. And I'm like, don't look at those goddamn numbers. Just be yourself, play the game, and relax.
It's easy to fall into that because, you know, you want to be successful.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on that because in the beginning, well, the thing about it with me was like, in order to get some of my numbers, to get myself out there, sometimes you have to play some games with the community so you can get kind of well known. But once you kind of have a plan, then you can start doing that. But until then, it's kind of like, okay, let me get out here and at least get my name out. But then you play a few games. Like in my case, one of the games that did that for me was Valheim. And I hate that game. Hate it. Valheim, Raft, Grounded. They're all skins for Valheim, just a different place, whether it's tropical, desert, forest, Viking, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like I'm just terrible at them. Is what
I think that is those kind of games. There's a expiration date, isn't it? It's like, how many times can you do the same thing over? You know, when does it become boring? This is monotonous. You know, these are the things that run through my head, which is why I haven't played Valheim for such a long time. And Subsistence has that, but Subsistence is definitely on a different level. And because now with the community server and everything like that, it's on a different level because there's a nice progression in the weapons. And particularly later on, you get explosive grenades and arrows and all sorts of stuff. So it's different. It is a different style of game. What I'm sick to death of fucking seeing in games over and over are fucking zombies. I'm over zombies, dude. Every game has got some sort of zombie or 7 Days to Die. That game, I've played it twice. Once with Bluebell and once on my own, I think, and or twice with Blue, whatever. I was like, by the end of that stream, I was like, you know what? I'm fucking done with this zombie bollocks, and I haven't played a zombie game since. I've been asked to. I've had devs come to me and say, "Would you mind playing this game?" And I was like, "I'd love shit, man. Give me free stuff. I want free stuff, but I'm not prepared to play that. Sorry."
Get you Cannibal Crossing. It's a little. It looks like RimWorld, but then it's a zombie killer. Like I'm gonna gift it to you just to screw with you, but like, I know you'll never play it. Yeah. No. You know, you can gift me the Valheim console edition next year when it comes. Like, I'm never playing this crap.
You bastard! I'll get you for this.
Yeah. But I am super happy that because, like you, I ran into Mom.
Right.
Which is Linda for those, or Sergeant Mom 2 for those that don't know.
Yeah.
And she hooked me up with flippers. She hooked me up with mini at the time. This is the very, very, very beginning. And I kind of rode flippers coattail for the longest time because, well, one, we get along amazingly, and just like you and I. And then
Flippers
I didn't know you at the time.
Funny fucking guy, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I met you with flippers. Remember? We were playing Forza.
Oh, Forza 5. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember playing and going,
we came together.
God damn it, this American motherfucker. You're just so fucking loud. And it's like, I really like this guy. God damn, he's funny. Jesus. Awesome.
Mean, I know one, I was in artillery, so I can't hear. So I'm a little louder than most people.
That's a given.
But my family is, well, specifically my dad is basically an older version of me, funnier. Right. He used to say he was the most handsome in the house, you know, just whatever. That's him. And he's got all those old man stories, etc. Right. You know, he's that guy.
Yeah.
But so I aspire to be like him because I don't know, he's my hero. Let's just say that. But he's always been loud, and so I've always been loud. So if I've ever drowned all you guys out, I'm so sorry. It was never intentional. It's just that's how I talk, and I'm so animated because that's how he is.
The first thing when we do a community thing is I go into Discord chat and I just slide that volume bar right on down. It's like, right, Sarge is in. Okay, let's just move him down to 80% volume.
Well, that and some of it has been sound. Trying to fix that.
No. Let's not talk about sound issues. Jeez, man.
Oh my God. Well, that was the biggest hurt. Well, and still kind of is from time to time. But I think I figured it out. One of the things I've noticed, like with the game cutting out, like the other day when we were playing
ATS, yeah.
ATS. So when I click out of the game and go mess with OBS and then come back into the game, it screws these like on top of my my mic. There's a like dots for filters that are
Right.
blue, and
Right.
then when you speak, it's green or yellow or red or whatever. Well, it would reset those all the way to full,
Yeah.
which screws up the performance. So I'm constantly looking down to make sure they're back down to where I need them. And then when I do that, then it's very tolerable.
Right. You
nice.
see, the best investment I've ever made, and it wasn't for streaming, was this thing.
Oh man,
it is. This is the second tier. The first tier is just so fucking beautiful. I just couldn't afford the extra 1,000 on top of. I actually sold my car to get the boom arm and the ring light and stuff for my DJ stuff, basically. But I mean, this is essential for DJ work, doing the radio shows and stuff like that. And then the podcast just happened as a byproduct. And I was like, okay, well, fucking just do podcasts as well. But this thing is like, but I find when Windows does updates, it fucks with everything. Single setting. As soon as there's an update, in fact, every morning I've actually drummed it in typical military. I have a set routine before a stream now. So I go in and check this thing. I check in video broadcast. I go into my Streamlabs, and then I check all the settings there, make sure everything is work like a half an hour to an hour before I actually start streaming. The warden says to me, but you're only streaming at like whatever time. It's like, yeah, but you don't understand. I've got to check everything.
Because what can go wrong will. I think with mine specifically, I had that Nano Mini, right? And it had its own settings. When I finally got this, I think it was trying to merge the X and the Mini settings together. And so I had to go through and delete all this junk and like kind of refresh, put it in. And it has done wonders, but obviously I still had some tweaks to figure out because, again, that's the biggest issue that it does, minus sometimes the camera, because it will do that with the updates too and all that other, is okay. Because here, look, if I'm a little blurry, people still watch. If the game still looks, like 720 or above, they'll still watch that. But if I'm all like, that's not going to happen. They'll click off in the heartbeat.
Yeah. Which I think is what's happened to me in the past 2 weeks. I've been trying to do 1080p. And I tell you, I just go into Google search and I just see my history. It's like, how do I get my settings in Streamlabs to work properly? What is the best setting for YouTube? What is the best? And it just goes on and on and on. And I'm just like, I tried it for 2 weeks. It's like change setting. 1080p is what I wanted. It's like, now you got to have like 6,000 KBs or whatever the
kilobits,
KBs, and then you can do 60 FPS, and I can do that. But the problem being is that because I'm on 25 meg fiber line, it's limited to what your up is. Your up is like 10, I think, out of a 25 meg line, and your down is 24 or 20 or whatever. So I'm like, if I push it to 9,000 KBS, it probably will be smoother and work better. But the chances are of it capping it and then just dropping down and then trying to get back up, it's like, fuck it. 720p, it's where I'm at it on 30 FPS. So it's annoying as hell.
I'm at 9,000 kilobytes right now. Well, I mean, when I send it, but I think YouTube has a cap of like 6,000 or 6,500.
It's 9,000, man.
Oh, is it 9,000?
Yeah, it's 9,000.
Well, I mean, that's what she's at now too. So because I bumped it to her, because I want her to have the same, minus the fact that her camera's not quite as good yet because it's my old one. But I mean, so it's like trying to get that balance. Have enough broadband to run the game and have the multiplayer side of it sometimes. And then clear, sound good, not having distortions. So you say it's easy, and it is, but sometimes all this other stuff in the background. It gets
easier, right? So it gets easier as the months pass. You speak to the community, and I'm thankful to one person, that's Booster, mostly, because Booster helped me out tremendous amount for my Discord. Emily35, also a streamer from Australia, is the first person that I ever started playing multiplayer games with.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
On Ranch Simulator, her and I got together and we just played together, and next minute she started a Discord. She started the Discord for me. You know, it's
Oh, wow.
that's how far back, you know, her and I go. You know, and yeah, so I'm thankful to Booster and I'm thankful to her for that. But Booster helped me out a shit ton with the settings, and he's done that for a lot of people actually. And that just brings back to like the whole community that we've built up is just so awesome. Everybody in our community, there's not a horrible person anywhere in there. There might be some negative Nancy's or whatever, but you know, you're gonna get that mob mentality going. You know what I mean? It's like, but our community that we have, they're pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, I love the community. Minnie was probably the first person Mom put me on, and she really helped me start getting some semblance of, because I didn't even have OBS. I had like Gamecaster because it was
Right.
simple
Right.
to start with. And then she started walking me over to that process. And then from that point on, it's kind of been my trial and error for, well, until now. It still kind of is.
What is it like? What is it like when you hit that 1,000 subs?
Oh, man. Oh, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, first of all, like you, dude, I don't, like, I'll say it about one time, maybe twice during a stream for members, like the actual members. But I say like and subscribe all the time because it's free and easy. All you have to do is click a button.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't want to do that, I mean, that's fine. But like, at least I know I'm not costing them anything.
Right.
You know, because it's free to watch me, and I want to provide whether you can pay for it or not. You know what I'm saying? I want you to have the best experience, but it does help the channel. You know the deal. But getting there, well, first of all, you and Flippers and Da Vinci all got monetized around the same time.
Same time, yeah, yeah.
And I was like 300 and let's say 20 some odd subs at the time. And then
magic fingers manifestation.
Then it exploded. Yeah, it exploded out of nowhere. And I was like,
that was
okay,
awesome.
So we're at 500. Okay, fine. Well, I'll do a giveaway. Well, hell, I didn't do a giveaway until 700 because it was already at 700 by the time that came up, and that was only a few days away from then. Yeah. And I was like, what in the is going on? You know? And then I got to the 1,000 and I started pumping it up, and I was like, look, you know, don't get me wrong, it helps. I love it, and I'm glad to do it. And you know, whether it's 1 or 1 million, you know, I'm still going to be me, but like, it was nice because I felt like a little sense of accomplishment.
Oh,
okay, God, maybe I am meant for this. Maybe I can do this for real now, you know, but I've got to get better.
Yeah.
And I still feel that way. I feel that way every day. I mean, because, you know, for the most part, you don't have, or at least it doesn't seem, at least on stream, because like you, I have a ritual too, right before, but you don't necessarily have the audio issues sometimes that I have and or whatever. But I think some of that is me, because again, you were IT too, right, Trev?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, I was not. And so I'm still figuring that program out, but like, I love it, dude. I love it. I love being able to broadcast pretty much Monday through Friday. It is only one time, but it's usually 2 to 5 hours, depending a day, you know, what we're doing. And just, I want to be the guy that when you're having a bad day and because your wife is nagging you, or your boss has been an asshole, you know, you can't do anything about it and you want to like unleash some frustrations, come live vicariously through me.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll go kick whoever's ass in this game together, and then everybody will be able to stay peaceful.
I mean, that's one of the things that, because of the depression, that's one of the reasons why I started this, was to an outlet for myself.
Yeah, this is a therapy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
exactly what this is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was for me. It was such a weird thing at first because I'm the guy in the background. The guy in the front's on, you know, center stage, getting the light put on him. I'm the guy in the background, making sure that the lighting is good and the microphone sounds good. Everybody's looking at that guy, not at this guy on the side stage. And that's the way it's always been for me. So for me to be here doing this was such a weird moment. It's like, okay, what the fuck have you done, Trev? Why are you putting yourself through that? You know, that negative Nancy coming in?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Mr. Doubtfire. Yeah.
Well, and that's why I like, I know that it's not necessarily your specific favorite type of music, but that's why I listen to NF, because he talks about his mental and like from day one, if you go all the way back to his like first album until now, they all connect. And he tells a story throughout those. Whoops. And then like he talks about basically he makes his mental health because it's relatable to every one of us at one point or another in our lives.
Absolutely.
Usually.
Yeah.
But he talks about his music being therapy. Well, I talk about this being therapy because obviously, while I can sing and do some little things here and there, I'm not him, you know. So it's like, how do I reach people the same way he does? And this is it, dude. And like, I love it because it gives me. Well, have you never not streamed one day and was like, because you want to, because you need it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a fix. It's a fix. It's what it is. It's like a drug. You gotta get your fix, man. And I'm glad you touched on the whole mental thing because we got to break the stigma about mental health and I think in particularly not so much particularly in men, but in maybe that's too much of a generalization, but I think men are like more prone to not talk about that sort of stuff and like be like, I'm
suck it up.
Yeah, suck it up, man. Stop being such a
all
bitch,
those things.
man. Yeah. No.
When the reality to it is there is nothing wrong with being a man and being vulnerable.
Oh God, yeah. Then you're a real man.
You gotta release. You gotta release because that's why you have all these people that are because they, you know, and then it.
Yeah, and then they explode the fuck up.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a thing. There he is.
That's right. Dude. Here, just Trev.
Hi. Nervous Nelly.
There we
go. Food. What is with the eat well thing?
Because I feel like it's a creature comfort. And like I always feel like if you sit down and you have really good food, then you're probably having a good time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You feel safe, you feel secure. And that's why I always say eat well and be safe. You know, and it's just I don't know how that came about. You know, the bringing gaming to the front lines came from a guy named Mar in our community that you may not know because he was a streamer. He like I don't know if you remember seeing my beginning intro movies that had like the other rock and roll type sort of music.
Right.
But he made all of that for me.
Nice.
Mar was instrumental in helping me start my brand, and then he put bringing gaming to the front lines because I told him I was like I want to bring this gaming somehow to the front and center. And then he kind of helped me form that, and I was like, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. That's how it's going to be. And then that's been the
but it's truth as well. Yeah. Food is good for the soul. Good food is good for the soul. Yeah. I mean, you can have shitty food. So. It's, you know, doesn't mean it's good for you.
Well, yeah, true. and so it's like, you know, I envision like, you know, because I always come on and say, hey, I'm Sarge, bringing gaming to the front lines to you guys. Right. And then at the end, I'm always like, hey, before you leave, eat well. Be safe and just, you know, eating well necessarily doesn't mean necessarily food. It just means more like live well.
Yeah.
Live well.
Yeah.
You know, in all aspects, be you know on the right side of things. Basically.
But that also ties in with the mental side of things too.
Yes. It's a whole awareness.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So go for your last meal on Earth. What would it be?
Oh man. I mean, again, I would love to try if it was my last meal, I want like, I don't know, Wagyu beef that's been aged for like, you know, 35 days or better. Like a huge I want like I don't even think it's a thing, but I would like to try like a Wagyu beef Wellington. You know what I'm saying? You know, like the ribeye though. Yeah. And then like, you know, the sides with whatever you want. And then just like me personally, like I'm not like a big drinker. Like I like a few wines. I like a few beers, like a nice Guinness. I can actually tolerate very well.
Nice.
But I would do a hard cider. I like hard ciders, like a peach or something along those lines.
Never thought you would do that. I thought you'd be like a whiskey kind of guy, you know.
You know, I never got like. Don't get me wrong. I love tequila.
Oh, okay. So yeah, but you get tequila and you get tequila. Yeah.
But like I like I don't like beer's taste. Is the problem. And
Right.
so
Is
cider
it the
is
gas thing? Is it like a gas because it's gassy or
I think it's the aftertaste. It's just the malt or whatever,
right?
it's just like it's a fermented flavor that I don't get
Hmm.
into, but the cider gives me because I like sour candies and stuff like that.
Right.
I
So the
like that
sweet
sour
apple kind
uptick.
of thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I
Nice.
like that sour, that bite.
All right.
Like
Okay.
if I'm gonna do a sour apple or an
Right.
apple type cider, I want it to feel like on the back of my
Hmm.
throat while I do it. Kind of like the kick
That
of a
kind of vibe.
whiskey or something. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
You're like, that burned. I love it.
So, what food would you like to try that you haven't tried?
Oh man, I would love to
Beside the
try.
wagyu now, beside the wagyu,
Yes.
you know, and where would
Um,
it come from? That's the thing.
I want to go down to Thailand
Mmm.
and or I want to
Mmm.
be in some of those Asian foreign countries with like the true ramens, the true pho or however you say that.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
true because they incorporate so much fresh vegetables and fruits and things of that nature where
Yep.
if you're used to store bought or anything in the States,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just not that quality of freshness,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
incorporate these sweet and sour, hot and spicy, and like they get the whole gamut. I mean, not that a lot of countries don't do that, but like they seem to be really infused on that. Or like going to Italy and having like real authentic tomato sauce, which they would call
Right.
gravy,
Right.
something like that.
You see that's interesting because I know we touched on this in Casper's ATS stream that we did yesterday. We were talking about meatballs in gravy and
Oh
well,
yeah.
you know, gravy, but you know, um, and I think one of the things I think the warden wants to do is do like a London, Paris, maybe Italy kind of trip at some point when Jaden's a little bit older. She's 10 now, so it's kind of like she's not into traveling, doesn't want to do the whole traveling thing. You know,
That she doesn't have the expanded palate yet. She wouldn't
well,
probably
no,
enjoy, because most kids are
no.
like, oh, nuggets and corn dogs and whatever
Yeah, she eats hot
crap.
dogs. She eats
Yeah,
chicken nuggets that we make at home for her from organic
yeah.
fucking chicken, the little shit. You know, she eats sometimes better than we do. It's like, damn it.
Well,
And I make pizzas. So I make my own
no,
pizza sauce and all that sort of
yeah.
jazz. And she fucking laps that shit up, man. She loves that stuff. And so we don't want to take her with her because it's like we did America when she was 7, and it's just like so young for her. And you know, we went down to Disney World in LA, and it was like walking around with a 7-year-old. It's not exactly at a fast pace, you know, or a
No.
decent pace. It's slow.
For the adults, it's not really that enjoyable. Let's just be real. I love my daughter as well, but I know dragging her to certain things that I would enjoy,
Right.
that I want her to experience, she's probably not really at that age for the appreciation of it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she can't even remember it. Yeah, it's like, do you remember when you went in and you saw this and then? Nope. It's like,
No, I
fucking, you know
took
how much
Zoe when
money
I
this
was
cost?
yeah, when Zoe was 3, I had pictures of her and I in Hawaii and excuse me, Miami or not Miami, Maui, and she doesn't remember any of it. Some of the
Mm.
best times of my life, but as far as like the location
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
food and things like that,
Right.
she don't remember any of it. I'm
Damn it,
like
man. What countries haven't you been to other than South Africa
a lot.
that you would like
I
to go
mean,
to? Than Thailand, Indonesia, and you know.
yeah, I like to go to Italy, of course, because you mentioned that. I'd love to go to Scotland or Ireland because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Irish and German,
Right,
technically. I
right.
do have some French in the German side because our family, I guess we have a crest in the German side, which is my last name, which you can clearly see on the screen, is Sargent,
Yeah.
but it's from Striedelmeyer is the
Okay.
name of it.
All right.
And I would love to go. I don't know. I'd like to go discover some of that heritage, but I'd also like to go. Like I said, Scotland and Ireland sound so
Mm,
appealing.
mm.
I'd like to
I
have a
tell
real
you,
stroopwafel.
is no, yeah. There's nothing better than a Guinness in Ireland. Let me tell you,
Oh,
in
I
Dublin.
mean, that's my point. Is I want to go to the source with
Mm,
lots of these foods where you're like, oh, a Guinness. No, I want to drink from like the tap of the
The fountain
barrel
of
it came
youth.
out of, yeah, or whatever. Like, if you say Italian, let's go to Italy. You
Yeah,
say
yeah,
I want
yeah,
Greek food, let's go here. Let's, that's
yeah.
the way I want to do it.
No, no, absolutely. I mean, I, I've been really fortunate enough to have traveled to some of those places. Italy's not one of them, unfortunately. I've been to Greece, and the water is crystal blue, clear, turquoise, white sandy beaches, and we have that here in South Africa. So I wasn't too impressed with that, but typical arrogant South African kid when I was doing it. I was 20 years old or something like that. And just having the food there, typical Greek salad. Everybody talks about a goddamn Greek salad. You haven't had a Greek salad until you go to Greece and have a Greek salad.
Right.
There's that kind of vibe. And I remember
Yeah.
staying at the hotel, and there was this old lady that was that everybody called her Mama. And I was an aspiring chef at the time, and in fact, it was my sister Karen sent me to Greece and said, go for 2 weeks or go for a week or something, go and have some fun. And I just remember smelling this food coming out from the kitchen down below, and I went down there, and she was there, and I said, "Can I help you?" And I was there for a couple of hours helping her, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the whole cooking experience, to see what it's like to cook different foods from different countries and stuff like that. And I was very lucky to have done that in France, in South France. I did that in Belgium. I did that in Ireland. I did that in Wales. Um, and we traveled to Scotland, and we did London, and a whole bunch of places. But there's so much more that I'd love to do, but I hate fucking traveling.
Well, I'll tell you, like, so we watch a lot of like MasterChef, for example.
Right.
And I think to myself, if I was on this, I wouldn't even get out of the first round,
Yep.
because as much as I love food and as much as I know, one, I don't really have the technique. And then two, some of the techniques specific for the dish, like you're going to learn, well, outside of culinary school, but like how an Italian would make this food, or how a Greek, or how, if you're in Thailand or Australia or British or
Wherever.
whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
wherever it is, like I want to learn it from the person of someone that's done it for years, like somebody's grandmother probably,
Yeah.
that knows how to
Yeah.
do it right.
Yeah.
And then have like that ability, and like that's the whole, like, so I would love to travel and do all that and like learn that. Like I want to learn the knife skills, I want to learn the techniques when you're putting on glazes and all these, because
Mm-hmm.
there's some stuff that you see is just fantastic. But that's because I want, like you probably want to share it with my friends, my family, and
Yeah.
like not necessarily because I'm entertaining and oh whatever, but like because it's good food, it's a new experience, and then it's something that hopefully we can incorporate, pretty regularly down the road.
And they're going to eat well.
Yes. Yes, they are. And that's really it. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's that. Yeah. I mean, it
that's the
makes
thing.
perfect sense. Why the hell do I look so red? The fuck is that all about?
Well, I look pretty Casperly. Sorry,
Damn it,
Casper.
man. You know what it is? It's my second monitor. It's got its screen up, and it's all just Trev, and it's all orange. So that's why I look
Orange.
orange.
Yeah.
Orange. I like the way Americans say orange. We say
Yeah.
orange.
Orange.
You say
Yeah. It's
orange.
just orange. Yeah. We have our hand-me-down British slang, basically. I mean, that's
British
my.
slang. That's not British
Uh,
slang. What are you on
well,
about?
no, we just, we when we
Captain
came over,
Cackles would
affected.
be slapping you upside the head with his kipper, mate.
We took everything that they did and we did everything the opposite way, chat. That's what it is.
I honestly thought you were going to say you did it betterer.
No, no, no. We did it betterer.
Yeah, you did it betterer.
Yeah. Left side of the highway? Nah, we're going right. You like metrics? Nah.
Nah,
You
fuck
know,
that.
yeah.
What is this bollocks?
Any kind of unification with the rest of the world would make
Nah.
everybody's life easier? Nah.
I'd take the piss out of my cousin Drew over in San Francisco. He says, no, when I last spoke to him, which is fucking years ago, he said, "Oh, it's the World Series." I said, "Oh, what countries are playing?" He's talking about American football or baseball or I don't know, whatever the hell you guys play over there.
World Series is
World
the baseball, but
baseball.
yeah.
Okay, it's the World Series, and I was like, Okay, what countries are playing? He's like, no, it's a World Series. So yeah, world. It's not just America. You know, you muppet. There are other countries. No, it's the
Yeah,
World
but
Series. Oh, fuck.
the way they figure the world is involved is that there's several different players from all over the world in the American
Right.
teams, but it's not like
They're all
the
American
World
teams.
Cup or yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
all American teams. They're not like, like when you watch soccer as we would call it, but obviously it's football for
Football. Yeah,
the
yeah.
rest of the world.
Oh, fool's ball. That's what
Um
I call it.
it's amazing because like these people, whether you're like, I don't know, Milan or for Italy or all these different places or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever, and it's
Yeah.
like that is true world. Like you see, like go to it, like you see the obviously on TV. For us, a lot of times you see these World Cups and things like that, and you're like, "Oh my God!"
Mm,
Now we have that too, but like for American teams,
America.
but
Yeah, yeah.
not at that. Yeah, not at that realm, dude. And that's
Yeah.
true. You know,
Well, I
true
mean
world.
that's a thing. I mean, World Cup, World Series. I'm like, no, come on, dude. Work with me here. Where's Chile? Where's South Africa? Are we playing? No, man. What are you talking about? It's the World Series. Oh, fuck. Just sort of.
It's yeah, it's not the same.
Not quite the same. That's why when
We're the
growing up,
star here, Trev. You
wait,
just suck it up and deal with it.
yeah,
We're the
yeah, yeah.
stars.
Just yeah, that's it. Just fucking.
America,
I'll Americanize everything in
America.
my house. Okay, how's that? I'll change those round plugs to fucking whatever the hell plugs you guys use.
Yeah. Oh God.
I'll never forget going to America for the first time, man. It's like get to the hotel room in Florida and it's like 90% humidity. I remember stepping out of the car. Firstly, it was Pontiac. And get out of the car and it's like, holy shit! I've just been hit with a 10-ton hammer right into the gut with this heat. It was insane. Going to the hotel room and I just see every single hotel room. There must be like maybe 100 rooms or something. Every single AC was running.
Oh yeah. Well, and
Jesus,
how the
electricity.
mid that's how the Midwest is, but just imagine shittier scenery. No beaches, nothing. You're just farmland, sweltering hot. Like right now, the kind of you jump in the shower, you got to need another shower when you get out because you sweat while you're in the shower, and
Yeah,
then you got out
yeah,
and you sweat
yeah.
there. And it's just like that's why I want to move west because it's only like 30% or less out
Just,
there
just,
in
just move,
Arizona. And
move
yeah,
southeast down to where we live.
that's like a $15,000 move to move from like Indiana to like Arizona,
That's insane,
packing a
dude.
house and then
So when is
dragging it
this?
up.
Is this happening, or is this what you want to do?
We want to do it within the next like hopefully 5 years.
Right. Okay. So,
So
so,
we're waiting on you, YouTube. Come on, you guys gotta, no, no, it's not like that. It's just something we
so
want to
first
do.
things first, Sarge,
Yeah,
is dun 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 dun.
yeah.
Dun. No, no. Let's
We
let's
want
let's touch on that, man. Because
we want to do some. We definitely want to do some pictures and some clips. I don't know. Everybody in the community's like, oh, live stream it.
live stream it,
But I don't.
man.
I don't know that we're gonna have a big ceremony for it. And then again, where are we gonna do it? And then do you look back? Here's a cow. It's Indiana. It's not like we would be in like Hawaii or
Yeah,
But
yeah,
if we
yeah,
did go
yeah, yeah,
someplace like that, then yeah,
yeah,
of course
yeah.
we would. But like even then, like everybody's like, oh, I
Have a
bet you get
full-on TV
thousands upon
production there with
thousands of
lights and
views.
everything, man. Just,
Yeah, oh
guy
yeah,
holding that
definitely. I have
camera,
the money for that.
direct feeding to the
Yeah.
tube of the U, that sort of shit.
Hold the camera up, Trev. Come on, we're doing this. No,
Stop it. Oh, wait, I
that's
must hit you
right.
this way.
Not only, yeah, getting places. You and Captain Cackles will be best
Captain
men, but
Gackles.
one of you are standing up there. The other one's running the camera. I would
Who's
love
got the
that.
ring?
It
I don't know.
would.
Haven't you got the ring, Cackles?
No, that's one of the cats.
No.
Yeah, it's the goat. He's gonna bring the ring up. Yeah.
The goat,
Oh
greatest
man.
of all time. The goat is the
Oh
goat.
my. Yeah. How
So, have you
ridiculous.
set a date though? That's the thing.
I don't know. Have we set a date?
No.
No.
Yeah,
No,
whenever.
she's like, I accepted, but the jury's still out. But we're gonna see. Let's not get carried
I
away here.
concur.
It's just you, I mean,
It's just you. He's got to see what
you
happened.
calm down, number 4. Okay. Anyway.
Well, fuck. What are you, number 2? You're just the shit,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. I'm number 2, the shit. But we'd like to do that. I think it would be fun if we could do it where it doesn't take away from our time, and
Yeah.
then give you guys some insight, give a little, well, like on my channel, and I know you do the same. Yes, it's mainly gaming, but I do a little bit of I have a bunch of Calio videos, and we have NF. And then we have some personal things, but more specifically like cats and stuff like that people might want to kind of to give them insights. But I think it would give another little sort of insight, but it's more supplementary to the channel versus anything else. I mean, that's kind of what this is to a degree. This may pick up and go crazy though.
You know what I reckon? I reckon you ought to have a table with our nameplates, Captain Cackles, Just Trev, whoever else, Sergeant Mom, Da Vinci, that's whoever else, and put a laptop with a webcam just constantly spinning around, like really slowly. So pretend like we're all there, just spinning around like a lazy Susan, just going round.
Get
and
everybody
round.
on a Zoom call with like 80
that's
screens.
That's it. Yeah, there you go. Just for 40 minutes. Just for 40 minutes at the party, at the function. Then you and Jodes can sit there and we can all participate and have a drink with you on your day.
If I could pull it off and it would look good, and then edit it all and make it like one thing.
Make for members only.
Yes. Yeah.
Get some more members.
That's where it'll be. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like, this is a part of that members only right here. I haven't done, because I'm still new to having members, I haven't done anything yet for the members. I've been trying to get like the little thing that I want to marry in the beginning, which is the whole point of me asking you about the editing software.
Yeah.
Started, but I want to start doing more for them, because if you're going to give me the support when you could just watch for free, I want to provide something for them that gives them incentive. So
yeah.
This is a part of that.
Yeah, which is why I did still am doing the F1 stuff, but I'm at a point now where I'm like, what can I do because I feel and it's just my opinion, is I feel like the members should be repaid something, for their loyalty and the interest and their love, or whatever you want to call it. So it's like it, and I'm like, not everybody likes F1. Okay. What would people like to see? And again, that's when you start getting caught up in the numbers and that sort of aspect of it. So I'm just going to let it be. I'm just going to finish my F1, and then I'll concentrate on the next thing. And whatever that is, it'll be for members only. And I'll see. I'm still like, no idea what to offer.
Right. Well, and I mean, okay, for us, example, for me, because this is my first ever podcast per se, this may, 10, 20 people may watch it, or you never know. It may go viral. There's a possibility. I mean, it will, but there's a possibility. And then if this, it may become a more integral part of what you do because of the outpouring of interest. And if that's the case, then, we'll keep rocking them out, and then keep doing, not necessarily just you and I, obviously, but like all the people we want to do it with. Like in my case, like, I'd like to get Cackles and Mom and everybody in there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But like, people may absolutely love this, but all of it is supplemental. But I also want it to be liked, or well liked enough that I'll continue to do it.
Yeah.
Because like you're fishing out there, you're throwing the line out there and seeing what is it that I enjoy? Like, I enjoy this. I like an actual conversation with you, Trev. I mean, because
absolutely,
we get so caught up with the games and things like that you don't get to know the person as well.
Absolutely.
It's more of a playing style, and then whatever happens during the game. But like knowing somebody, a
little bit more. Yeah. I think it's important.
That's great.
Yeah, I agree. Because there is for me, at least for me, there's like a level of trust when I play with people. It's like, am I going to get on with them? Are we going to have things in common? Are we going to, I don't know. And what a great way of finding out. Do a fucking
Yeah.
podcast and see where you stand. So that
So
I mean, I would love to do this with you with say two other people and have like a
yeah,
round robin question fucking firing or just a conversation, see where it goes.
yes,
Can you imagine?
absolutely.
Can you
I'm
imagine
all for
Linda?
it.
Can you imagine? Sorry, can you imagine Linda and Da Vinci together on this with
Yeah,
us?
because they have a lot to talk about. Because not to be funny, but they are older than both of us,
Yeah,
or at least close to anyway.
yeah,
And they have life experiences and things that they've
absolutely.
done. And because Linda was over, she was in Air Force,
Yeah,
and she was over in Korea and things like that. Jodes is in Korea. I'd like to bring Jodes on even
yeah,
because
absolutely.
she can talk about all that. I have
Yeah,
no experience with any of that, and that will obviously bring a lot to the table. So, I mean,
it'd
yeah,
be
I'd love
very
to hear all
interesting.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. I want to find out how many wives Da Vinci has had.
Uh, Russian brides.
Russian brides.
Yeah.
Last count was at least 9, I think. Yeah.
9.
Or was he just saying 9 in German? 9.
9.
Schweigend.
Oh,
Scheiße.
yeah.
Anyway, there we go, dude. I think
Yeah.
I think we've pretty much covered everything.
Yeah. Like I said, obviously there's more things we could talk about,
Yeah,
but then you have to have some content for later. With that
absolutely.
being
Yeah.
said, I feel like this has been a lot of fun. It's been pretty successful. I enjoy it, and I'm definitely looking forward to more.
Yeah, absolutely. Who you got lined up next?
I don't have anybody
Pressure's
yet
on.
because I
Pressure's
had to
on now,
see
dude.
this first, but I think I'm gonna try to wrangle Cackle in. I think I'm gonna try to wrangle Cackle in. See if I can get him
Wow.
for at least one segment of this.
Wow.
You know,
Captain
and kind of
Cackles. That'll be
yeah.
something.
Well, he like you, he's been so instrumental in helping with the channel, either by exposure or little details that he's helped me with setting up something. And I feel like it'd be instrumental to get him, possibly Minnie,
Hmm.
and Linda, because they were my foundation.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for those that want to know, I'm going to be having a chat with hopefully, I'm just waiting for him to confirm, with Rick Shields from Sundergeist. I've had him on before. It was about an hour and a half's conversation. That was a lot of fun. So, yeah, that's coming up on Wednesday. That's what I'm going to be doing. So there we go. That's it. And then some
there you
others
go.
lined up, but whatever, wherever it goes. That's it.
Yeah.
Nice and relaxed and chilled. Well, thank you so much, Sarge. It's been awesome to have
Well,
you here,
thank
man.
you. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Anytime you just shout it out, let me know. And as of course, you know what I'm going to say, Trev.
Go on.
Eat well, be safe, and I'll see you guys next time.
All righty, dudes. Cheers.
Cheers.